Good morning. Welcome to the Barnes Sunday morning services. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can't get involved. Thank you for being with me. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How y'all?
Good.
Y'all good?
Yes.
Oh, good. I have one quick question. I always come down with a topic, then something else occurred to me, and I have to ask the question. Robert, let me ask you first. Do you know the Lord's Prayer?
Yes, I do.
You know the entire prayer?
I haven't used it for a long, recent time, but I can remember word for word, I believe.
You can remember what?
Believe I can remember word for word, yes.
You're not sure?
Well, I could probably try.
Okay, but you're not sure if you know the Lord's Prayer?
No, not exactly.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Who don't know the Lord's Prayer? I found out this week people don't know the Lord's Prayer. Their kids don't know it. I don't know how that happened. You don't know the Lord's Prayer? Go back there with the mic. You do not know the Lord's Prayer?
No.
And what? Have you ever known it?
No.
Really?
I read it, but I don't know it by heart.
So you never say it?
No.
Did you learn it in school?
No.
Did you learn it at home growing up?
No.
Really? That's deep. Let me ask my PR guy. You know the Lord's Prayer?
Well, I thought I did, but I found out recently that I've only been saying about 3/4 of it, 75%. So it's a shortened version.
So at what point do you cut off?
Part about, thy glory, your glory be done on earth as in heaven. But I found out when I looked it up, there's a couple
Your
more
glory?
lines. I think there's a couple more lines after that.
You said you know the part about your glory be done.
I know about, like I said, 3/4 of it.
Uh-huh.
But what I realized when I looked it up is there's at least 2 more lines after the part where I stopped.
And you know the part where it says your glory be done on earth
Well,
as
like
in.
I said, I know up to 75% of it.
Do you? So does it say your glory be done?
Yeah, so your will be done on, it goes through, and then, but where I stop, there's additional lines beyond that.
That's amazing. And your parents didn't teach you the Lord's Prayer growing
But
up?
I read it in the Bible.
You didn't learn it in school either?
No.
Did your
I
son
went
know
to
it?
public schools.
Does your son know the Lord's Prayer?
He knows it up to the point where I know it.
And they're not teaching it in school, so he's not getting it there either.
He's a public school, so no.
Oh, man. Do you know the Lord's Prayer? Right here.
Yes, I do.
You know the whole thing? Oh, okay. John, you know it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He does know it. Patrick, you know it? Oh, wait. Let's wait for this one. You know the Lord's Prayer?
I know what I thought was the whole thing until Ermia said there's a lot more, and I don't know all of that.
Were you taught as a kid the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah, I went to school. In school, we didn't say it in school every day, but I was taught through the catechism. They taught us the Lord's Prayer.
And then at some point you just forgot it?
Well, I don't think I've forgotten at least the short version that I know. I think I know all that still.
How much you know up to?
You want it recited?
Yeah.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. That's as far as I go.
And you left a part out of there too.
Did I?
Yeah.
What was left out?
Forgive us as we forgive.
He said that.
Yeah, I said that.
No, he skipped forgive us. He just said, no. He just said forgive them. He didn't say forgive
I
us.
said forgive us our trespasses as we forgive
Yeah, he
those who
said
trespass against us.
Yeah.
What?
You skipped that part.
Did I not say that the first time?
He did.
No.
He said it. I heard it.
Yeah.
He did not say forgive us. He just said forgive them.
No.
He said
You heard it?
I'll testify against him.
It has to be because it's kind of seared into
Yeah.
me. I know it that way. So.
He just said, I thought he didn't say it.
Roll the tape.
Yeah. Did he say, come here, Rob. Did he say forgive us as we forgive?
That is a negative.
That means no, he did not say it?
No, he did not.
Yeah. I thought
Missed that
I did say
part.
it.
he said forgive them, but he didn't say forgive us.
I said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those. I'm not going to forgive in a minute if you guys play me.
He dropped the ball at the 1 yard line.
That's amazing. And so you went to Catholic school, right?
I did.
Yeah. Did you teach the Lord Prayer to your family?
No,
You did not.
no,
So they don't know it either?
no. Well, they may know it, from reading in the Bible, but not from me.
Right. Do you know the Lord's Prayer?
I thought it was the other one.
You-
I just found out.
Oh, you thought it was the 23rd Psalm? So something, you thought it was the 23rd Psalm?
I guess so. That's what it's called.
No wonder y'all suffering. Wow. Yes, Hermes. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know up to the point is where Pat stopped, and but it's pretty. There's only one short line after that, so
Oh,
it's pretty much all of
so
it.
you know, Lord, that's a short line. I'm not gonna worry about that one. That's amazing. That mic is not working. So, Hermes wasn't on mic.
No, this is fine. Somehow they got switched up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's why I didn't hear the Lord's Prayer.
Francisco, you know the Lord's Prayer? Come here, Rob.
Yeah, I do actually, yeah.
You just looked it up on your book.
I was reminded of it when I was also born and raised Catholic, so
Oh, yeah.
every Sunday we said that prayer, every Sunday, so the tape, the dust
Went
is
on.
coming off of it.
Oh, okay. I was surprised and shocked to hear that there are people who don't know the Lord's Prayer. When I was going to school, every morning we had to do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Lord's Prayer before class started. Every morning. And they taught it at church, the Lord's Prayer. So, especially Bible classes and stuff like that. So I'm surprised you don't know. No wonder your prayers are not working. Because prayer is about the Lord's Prayer. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
You want me to recite it?
No. He just did. You know it though, right?
Yeah, I do. It's just I haven't used it for a long time now. It's just coming back and stuff. So now.
Why you haven't used it?
I just hadn't, I thought about it, but I thought of not reciting it and stuff. So it's kind of repetitive in a way because I think that it's the words itself can how would I say wash out the meaning itself. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Lord, have mercy. So when Jesus taught them the Lord's Prayer, he was like, you know what, this is kind of repetitive. The words and meaning are going to wash out after a while. I'm just wasting my time, but let's learn it anyway.
I have nothing to say on that.
Okay. Yes. Look, Robert, look at me. When my hand goes that way, it's still crooked or something?
Yeah, it looked crooked.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the ones who say they're Catholic and they don't know the Lord's Prayer, it's because they didn't participate in the confession sacrament. Now, in the confession sacrament, when you confess your sins, the priest will say, whoa, you really did some wrongs here. For penance, you have to say, and then he give you so many Hail Marys prayers to say and so many Our Father prayers to say. And you had to repeat those for your penance.
That's why but Hermes is not a Catholic?
Well, I'm just saying for the Catholics who
I
identify
see.
themselves as Catholic
Yeah.
and they can't say the Lord's Prayer, it's because they really didn't participate in the Catholic religion.
Oh, okay. You guys ladies should learn the Lord's Prayer. You should know it. Doesn't mean you gotta be saying it, whatever you want to do with it, and you should teach your kids the Lord's Prayer too. I think, do what you want and let them grow up as little hard-headed sinners. But I would think that you should teach your kids, you have a responsibility, I think, to teach your children the Lord's Prayer. I don't know how it became so unimportant. Yes.
I know the song.
The song,
Yeah, they have it in a song, right?
in a song, they do it in a song.
Yeah.
They
That's like the
may.
Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, I think I've heard it in a song, people singing it. Yeah, I've heard it that way too. Yes.
I know that the Lord's Prayer is a
Do
responsibility.
you know the Lord's Prayer?
I do. I do.
Do you ever say it?
Huh?
You ever say it?
I do. I do. In private, I do. I do because I grew up. I grew up memorizing it, and but only until later in my life I understood what it meant.
All right.
Yes, and but it seems like people see it as either a chore or something that's.
Not other people, but you.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I don't want to hear about other people. I just want to hear about what we are, what we know, and stuff like that. Because we don't know, you don't really know the other people's motivation. Maybe they haven't been taught, just as, a lot of folks have been taught, and I'm surprised. I know they don't teach it in the public schools anymore. So a lot of these kids are coming out not knowing the Lord's Prayer. And so it's a responsibility of the parents to make sure you teach them that. It's important to know the Lord's Prayer. And I know there are some people say, oh, well, it's just words after a while, and all that. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. It all depends on your heart. But the Lord's Prayer is everything. Everything we should be is in the Lord's Prayer. And if you don't know it, that makes sense?
Yes, I always saw the prayer as a verbal commitment to between you and the Creator.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, learn the Lord's Prayer. Yes.
I repent.
For not knowing it?
No, I actually rolled it back in my mind. I think I did miss a little piece of it.
I know you did.
Which is amazing because...
I don't know where Irma's heard.
Because it's amazing because contrary to this sinner over here, I did participate in all of the Catholic stuff, including the confessionals, and they did give you that as kind of a punishment. You did have to say the Lord's Prayer a certain number of times. And we did get it every week, as Frankie said, so
Right.
I stand corrected. It's just that I haven't used it. It's like if you don't sing the national anthem,
Right.
and then you forget some of the lines.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty as charged.
Oh, good. Learn to pledge allegiance and learn the Lord's Prayer. I mean, I'm just saying, do what you want, but I'm just saying, I think it's important. What was the assignment this week? Anybody remember? Let me. Who was here? Was here last week? You were here last week?
Yeah.
What was the assignment?
Are you a good leader?
Don't respond. And you were here, so that means you didn't think about the assignment. You thought about leadership. All right. You were here last week?
Yes.
You know what the assignment?
I don't.
You were here, but you don't know what I said. Think about.
I don't know what you said 5 minutes ago.
Oh, were you here? You were here last week. John, you were here last week, right?
Yes.
You're.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I do not remember.
Amazing. Do you remember? Let's go to this young lady. Because if you don't remember, I'm coming to smack you.
I don't.
You know why? You know why I'm going to smack you? Because I'm not really going to smack her. It'll be all out there just smacking women. Because we talked about it Thursday night at the end of the meeting. This past Thursday night.
Oh.
And I said, we're going to pick up on it on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you don't remember?
It was about choices.
No.
No, it was about decision making.
What about it?
Do we make good decisions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, did you think about it from Thursday to today?
Yes. I
No,
thought
you
about
didn't.
Yeah, no.
You didn't even remember what it was about.
I did.
Yeah.
No, because what we talked about Thursday.
Yeah.
See, I was somewhere else. But
In the
anyway,
women's meeting, we had a women's forum on
Yeah.
Thursday.
no, because I did go to the grocery store.
Oh, you did?
And I totally forgot until, I bought everything and then I thought about it.
Oh, okay.
I did. What I discovered is I knew
The
what
question was, do you make good decisions? And I find that most people are either at church on their Blueberries and Blackberry phones and tweeting and texting, and they don't make good decisions. So do you make good decisions?
I did make a good decision.
But prior to that, did you make?
No.
You made one good one after we had to talk.
I noticed you was saying when you go to the grocery store, you already know, in your heart what you want. Not just saying at the grocery store, but anything. You
Yeah.
already know the truth or something
Right.
like that. So it was true. I did know in my heart what I already wanted.
Right.
Even though it seemed like I made choices, but I already knew what I wanted when I
Yes.
first looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seb, you make good decisions?
No, I noticed that I don't. Like when you said don't make any decisions, and that's better.
I told the ladies on Thursday, dude, I made a decision between Thursday and Sunday morning. And how was that for you?
It was good because every time somebody asks, should I do this or I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm not going to decide right now.
Yeah. And so that felt what?
It felt better because like if you make a decision, it might be wrong, and then it's going to come back on you.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it's like wait and see. Then that's better.
Yeah. So prior to that, did you make good decisions or bad ones?
Now, I told you the only good decision I make is deciding not to listen to my thoughts. So
Oh, you told me that when?
Thursday.
Oh, I see.
But
That's
I can't think of any good decisions that I made.
prior to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how people always make a decision, they're always wrong. But yet we keep trying to make decisions. It's like what the world is trying to do to fix the problems of the world. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I notice that people who make decisions, and most people do, they're making the wrong decision. It's absolutely mind-blowing. You notice that about yourself? You make wrong decisions?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
And so knowing that you make wrong decisions, do you still try to make decisions? Do you still try to make decisions knowing you make wrong decisions?
Well, I think that I've seen that my mind wants me to make decisions and get me kind of caught up in my head about, things that are going to happen in the future. So I just try to be aware of it so I don't kind of fall into that trap, really.
And knowing that you make this wrong decision, do you still make them?
Knowing that I make wrong decisions,
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean knowing I make wrong decisions. What
Are
do
you
mean by
aware that you make wrong decisions?
that? Yeah, sure.
Bad decisions?
I'm aware after the fact for sure if
Yeah.
the decision's wrong.
And do you still make them knowing that you make bad ones?
You're acting like I have some volitional ability
No, this is
here.
this is a church service. I'm not acting like anything. Just stay with me.
I am with you right now. We're not.
Let's go to
apart.
Kelly. Kelly, do you make good decisions?
I make really bad decisions.
You do?
Yeah.
When did you become aware that you make bad decisions?
Just increasingly aware probably the past couple years or so when I've started to pay attention more to it. And consequently, I try to make less and less. When I was thinking that I was in control, I thought I made these great decisions. And
Right.
I was always kind of, planning like what's the most efficient or the smartest thing. But more and more, I've realized that it just takes too much energy to do that.
And so do you still try to make decisions knowing you make bad decisions?
I don't really think I'm in charge, to be honest. There, a lot of the day, like I think that I am, but I look at the outcomes of situations and the quote-unquote decisions that I've made, and I think I'm gonna kind of go one way on a project or whatever it is, however big or small, and then just something else might come in and happen.
And so knowing that you make bad decisions, do you still make decisions?
No.
You don't make decisions at all?
I mean, it's really hard to put it in
clock is
English.
ticking.
But I mean, I'm still thinking about things.
And again, this is it's a service. I want you to start thinking on these things as I think on them too, you know. So it's not a contest. I'm not looking for you to just give me back what you've learned, or I want you to know that you know for yourself, you know. And because I work with a lot of people, I see that these type of things are holding people back in life. And these are the things that we need to overcome. But if you're not paying attention to yourself, you're going to go through whole life struggling unnecessarily, only because you're not paying attention to yourself. And once you start really paying attention and knowing thyself, your life's going to become easy. You're going to have great challenges coming at you, right? But now that you're operating on a different source, coming from a different source, life will be easy. And people literally, and not just at this church service, it's happening everywhere. People making wrong decisions. I heard this morning that, and I've heard it before this morning, that and I'm not pushing parties, it's not a political thing, it's just something that I heard, and I realized, wow, that's never going to work, that's not going to solve a problem, right? I heard that the Republicans have gotten together with black Republicans, the white ones with the black ones, and they're going to do this black outreach to the black community. They're going to put a lot of money, and they want to get the blacks into the Republican Party, right? And I was thinking, that's an awful idea. All you have to do is, when I joined that party, I joined because I realized I now agree with the platform, and I wanted to bring something to the party. I didn't need the party to reach out to me. And we have lost that, where life is about giving. It's not about taking and what somebody's going to do for you and you know, and all that kind of stuff. We have forgotten about living that way. It's not about us, it's about, some guy said, ask not what you could do for your country. I mean, what your country could do for you. Yeah. Who? It was one of the presidents, I think. Who?
JFK.
Yes. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We have lost that concept. Absolutely lost it. And there's so much common sense that we're lost nowadays. It really is. It's mind-blowing to me. And they're trying to resolve problems with thinking that they're making the right decisions about what they're trying to do. And we do that in our lives when we're unconscious. All we do is create problems because we're making decisions. And it's because we don't trust the decision maker. And most people don't even know you have a decision maker. Like Sonia said earlier, I already know what I want. And you do already know what you want. But you let this decision thing pop in and you create a bad situation for yourself. It's so important. Yes.
Okay. I haven't been thinking about decisions, but lately I've been thinking about choices. And so the way you're asking decisions, is there a difference between choices and decisions?
I don't know.
In other
It sounds
words,
like a
like
decision is a choice, because once you make it, that's what you're going to go with too.
Right.
Do
In
I
other
go
words-
here or do I go there? Yeah. Oh yeah, I go there. You go there. I don't know if there's a decision.
Okay. In other words, I mean, you go to the store and you want to buy something, buy something that you know is healthy and good for you versus buying something that's not necessarily healthy. So I noticed that sometimes I don't make the right choices, but as far as, decisions come, it seems like those things I can kind of let settle and the decision's made for me. But the little things.
Are you a good decision maker?
For the most part, yeah. Recently, yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
And did you
Because
think about?
I don't come to a quick decision. If I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I'll just wait on it, and it will eventually work out on its own.
Did you think about this past week?
I wasn't here last week.
Oh, you were not here. So lately, you've been a good decision maker. Prior to that, you were not.
Yeah, I try to make my own decisions.
How do you make decisions?
Well, you look at it and you kind of look at the pros and cons. That's how I used to do it. I look at the pros and cons and try to pick the one that made the most logical sense.
Oh.
But now if I'm not
That's
sure which
true.
way to go, I just wait, and then I know the next day once I drop it, eventually either I don't need to make a decision or it just kind of works itself out,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice.
Do you know yourself?
No.
And how long have you been hearing me say, know thyself?
6 months.
Oh, out of all these years, you just started paying attention 6 months ago?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, as long as I've known you.
And so why is it that the focus is not on knowing thyself?
So distractions, external distractions.
Do you think it's important to know thyself? And I'm not trying to be mean, as long as you leave a good donation, you can just keep coming and I'll keep telling you, but I want you to be free because the world is messed up right now. It really is messed up. And so, what was my question to you, the last
You
one?
said you think it's important to know
Yes.
yourself.
Do you think that's important?
Yeah, I think it is.
When did you start thinking that was important?
I mean, I've always known that, but I don't know that it's been a priority. It hasn't been a priority. But yeah, deep down, I know it's important to know yourself.
And so if you know it's important, why isn't it a priority? Why do you think it is important?
Because I think if you know yourself, you're gonna make, your direction in life will be clear, and your direction.
Now, I don't want to make you do this. You can
Right.
stay like you are, but if you know it's important, then why don't you do it? That's what I don't. I'm trying to understand human
Right.
nature, how people think.
I think it's.
If you know it's important, you've heard it for years, why haven't you put that first?
I think habits.
So it's not important then.
Well, you ask me. I mean, it is. I do realize it is important, but like I said, it's not necessarily a priority, or it's not number one, and it doesn't always override bad habits.
Oh, I see. Does it always? Is it going to override the bad habits without putting that first?
No,
How do you know that?
because it hasn't done it so far.
And I'm just trying to understand. It's just church. I'm not in a courthouse, even though it feels like it. It sounds like it too.
Like I'm being cross-examined.
So what?
So I feel like I'm being cross. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Say, I noticed that if you're not in your thoughts, you don't have to make decisions. Because I notice when I'm in my thoughts, that's when I have to make decisions. Because I was thinking about like driving on the freeway. You're thinking about something else, and you come to a turnoff. You either go this way or this way, and you can't think in time. You always end up going the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I said, if I wasn't in my thoughts, then I've been aware that it's coming up, and
Speaking of thoughts and driving, I have a good friend that sometimes when I ride with him to an event or something, and he's talking, we miss all the off ramps. I'm like, look, you got to be quiet and just focus on driving. It's amazing. Yeah, I understand that. Yes. And then I have another quick question. All right. I don't know what to do about y'all. Yes.
Yeah, you
Do
earlier.
you know yourself?
I do. I know myself but there's a limit to what I know about myself. And for instance,
Then you don't know yourself.
Yeah, true. I don't know myself well enough, I think, but I know myself as well as I can.
Is that your
Let me give you an example.
Is that your primary focus in life now?
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
To know thyself?
Yes.
And how are you getting to know thyself?
Well, by sitting down in the morning and night, being still, and then watching the process of my mind, through the day as I react and make decisions and that kind of thing. And the question you asked.
And that's how you're getting to know yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The question that you asked Kelly earlier, because I can see, like, I had a decision to make. It was 3 minutes to go in the game. I had work to do.
I ain't got time for no foolishness.
Well, no, it's not foolish. It really makes a good example. And there was 3 minutes to go in the game. It was an important college game, and I wanted to go see it, but yeah, I had work to do. And I made the decision to go watch the game. And as I'm going to watch the game, an engineer who works with me called me and said, I need you to come here. So I could see that my decision that I made was not backed by God, right? It's
Were
my
you at
decision.
work?
Yeah, when I'm at work.
But automatically, you're supposed to put work first, not a football game.
Yes, but I made the wrong decision.
That sounds like a moral
to
issue.
go watch the game, and I could see my decision was not backed up by God because
But you
I was
could've
taken
had
away
that
from
anyway,
that.
though.
If my decision would have been of God, then I would have been in front of the game. But I can see the decisions are no good. But yet, like you asked Kelly, why do you keep making decisions? Because I haven't been able to separate, I guess, or see
But let me
that
ask
I'm
you
not.
this, though. When you got that job and you signed that application for X amount of dollars, and you agreed to be there for X amount of hours, it didn't kick in right then. I'm at work, and football doesn't come before work, since I'm at work.
Yes, but I needed to check up on. There's only 3 minutes to go, and I would
right.
just
I gotta move
you know
on.
those excuses.
Yeah. That's amazing to me. I don't know if you're joking or not. Does he sound like he's joking?
No.
Oh, you sound serious?
Yeah, the point I'm trying to get
Oh.
to, is even if I see that decisions are wrong, and mostly my decisions are selfish and they go against what's
But
good.
the example you just gave wasn't a good one.
That's right. It was a good example of a
No.
bad decision.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
let me take a drink. This is gin.
I don't see what the confusion is. Is there something I'm saying here? I don't see what the confusion is.
All right.
I'm giving a good example of bad decision, but
think
yet
you're
I
making
keep,
you're
but I
making
keep
the wrong
putting
decision
faith.
right now. Coming up with that example was another bad decision.
Oh, whatever. I tried. I tried out there.
Yes.
I think I have a good example. I was at a birthday party last night, and a lot of couples there, and a lot of the people there were questioning, me about why I'm not married, and I noticed that there's a lot of that comes up with me because I'm 42, and it's funny because it seems like this pressure people want to impart on me to make a decision about getting married.
Yeah.
And I actually realized this morning that that's the evil that's out there, is to try to pressure people into doing something.
It's happening all the time in every situation.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because it's not like nobody was mean per se, but they're so unenlightened
Yeah.
that that's what they will do to somebody when it doesn't fit in with what in their mind is the right path or the right journey.
Yeah.
And then, on top of it, the sort of the humorous side, I'm watching some of these couples, and one guy's wife's hitting on another guy. This is all in a room where everybody's allegedly that marriage is this wonderful institution. So it's sort of funny. I mean, that stuff I see, trying to hit me, from all sides. And
yeah.
society does that, incredibly.
Yesterday, I was riding in my car going home, and I stopped at the stoplight. And there was a white woman who pulled up right next to me. She stopped as well, and she had her window down on both sides. And she was playing her music. And so I kind of looked over because I heard the music. And the moment I looked over, she looked over and saw me looking over. And she wound up her windows. She let both windows up and locked her door. And believe me, the decision came. Say was like, you should you jump out of your car and get her. After all this, I mean, he was just talking to me. And I'm just watching this. And I'm like, and then I realized, wow, have things really got that bad in our country? And I was driving a better car than she had, so I didn't want her car. And she wasn't, the type of woman that I would have wanted. And it was just, I'm thinking, this lady probably she has so much fear now. Broad daylight, we had a stoplight, I'm in my car and I'm gonna jump out and get her. But you know, I had compassion for her that she has to live that way. And a lot of white Americans have, and I know why they're like that, because a lot of young black people, men especially, are out of control. And they do crazy things like that. But I don't think that if you're driving your car by yourself, you're going to jump out of your car and take somebody else's old car. I don't think that. But I had compassion for her. But in the meantime, Satan was just talking to me about this lady, and he wanted me to get into a conversation with him about that. And I just let it pass, because he was really trying to pull me in on that. And see, if you can get to know yourself, you can see how you're being controlled in every area of your life. Things that seem nice and things that seem wrong or bad, you're being controlled, but because you're not paying attention in the right way, you don't realize you're being controlled. And you find yourself doing foolish things. Because if I didn't know what I know, I would have made a fool out of myself right there at that stoplight. And in the older days before I overcame my anger, me and that woman would probably be in jail somewhere right now. That woman and me. Because I would have overreacted to that. Said, look, this racist white woman, I don't want your car. I've been trying to prove something to her, right? But I had compassion for her, even though Satan was talking to me to act out on that situation. You ever had anything happen like that? It was so funny. And then I said, well, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow on the radio, right? And then Satan said, no, I wouldn't talk about this on the radio because the blacks are going to be saying, see, I told you white people are racist. He was trying to talk me out of it. And I'm like, wow, that is so interesting. Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. That's something else, Jesse. Let me take his hand first. Yes.
Yeah, that's happened to me several times where the exact same thing. I'm just walking down the street and a woman would do that, and I wasn't offended at all. I know that you're just afraid of my color. A lot of black kids out there are very, very dangerous.
Did Satan try to tempt you though?
Not at all, no.
He didn't say, you need to go in there and ask that lady, do you think I want your money?
But it was once when
That's what he tell me. Go over there and ask her if you think you want her money.
I was walking down the street one time and I passed this lady and she absolutely screamed at the top of her voice when she saw me. And that tempted me to say something to her, but I just realized this woman must have been raped or something, or beat up, robbed, and
I could hear that white woman. Stay away from me!
She looked absolutely crazy, but I let it go.
I've had white women tell me that they take these classes that teach them how to do that, protect themselves from men, and especially black men when they see some black men coming. They have been trained that way, really, because I work with so many black men, I happen to know that they do go after white women and their purses and things like that and take their money. And if they're white, they don't even care. They feel obligated or justified in doing that kind of stuff. So now white people are living on the edge. They're living in fear. And so I'm thinking, I thought about that yesterday. I said, wow, it's too bad that we have gotten to this in our country and in our lives where people don't trust each other now. Because when I was growing up, white people didn't act that way around black people. They didn't hold their purses or wind their window up and all that kind of stuff. And we were not, as a race, we were not united then because of all the laws, and we lived separately and didn't go to the same schools and things like that. So we didn't have this kind of problem happening then as it is happening today. We should be closer today as a people rather than that kind of thing having to happen. But it was interesting to see that. Yes, Kent, real fast.
Yeah, no, I was walking. I was on a date. I was walking. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was walking down a relatively dark street, and a black guy came up right. It was kind of right behind me, and there's no joke. I was ready. I was ready for action right then and there.
You afraid of him?
Oh yeah, and you know what he said? He goes,
"Oh yeah."
I thought, this guy's ready to jack me right now, because he was kind of tight up on us, and it was kind of a lonely street. And then it turned out he goes, oh yeah, I just need to go to this liquor store. He looked like he might have been a homeless guy or something. But yeah, you get that in your head. Somebody's right behind you, and you start thinking that stuff.
Had it been a white guy, would you have felt the same way?
I would have known. I would have beat him up, so I would have been worried about it. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I understand it. I totally understand it. Let me ask this question because of time here. And this has everything to do with everything we've already talked about. Decision making, having fear, whatever. You're making, all that bad decisions. Salvation. And I was talking to some friends about salvation yesterday because I realized that's what the problem is. And who ever heard you need to be saved or born again or something like that? Oh, okay, you've heard it. Have anyone here been born again? You have salvation? Nobody? Oh, only one? So you've been saved.
Yeah.
And what is salvation?
Salvation is a hope for eternal life with God.
Hope for the eternal life of God. And where is it?
It's in the beyond this physical planet, and it's something that's in faith.
Where is
undescribed.
salvation?
Where is salvation?
Yes.
Inside.
Inside what?
Inside me.
Oh, yeah? And how do you know that it's inside you?
Because it's, how do I know that it's inside me? Because that's where I found it.
And what does it look like?
What does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a light.
Like a light? And and this is not a test. Again, I'm just trying to get you guys and ladies to communicate. That's all I'm doing. And then to start thinking. It looked like a light. What has it done for you to have salvation?
Changed me in probably a lot of different ways.
Like how, for example?
Made me more peaceful. I'm able to less fearful, less paranoid. All types of things, which would be reacting to desires, other things that are more, I believe, to be more spiritual and less tied to the flesh than I was before.
Oh, okay. And all right, I'm just asking right now, and then I get to my point in a minute. You heard the word salvation before?
Yes.
And do you have it?
No.
And what is it?
The way I see it is I would be saved from my sin, basic sin of, wanting to make my own decisions and things like that. So I see I'm not saved from that I still make my own decisions.
And why do you see salvation in that manner?
I don't know why I see it that way. That's a good question. I don't know. It just makes sense to me that that's salvation. I don't know why I see it that way.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But you do see it that way?
I do see it that way.
Oh, okay. But you don't have it?
No.
All right. Let me ask right here. You heard the word salvation?
Yes, of course.
Do you have it?
No.
Why not?
Well, I can see that that I'm, in other words, I'm doing things that are wrong. I do things that I don't actually want to do, and being saved is exactly the opposite of what I just said.
How do you know?
Oh, and that's quite clear. There's a life possible. Salvation is possible to live that you're not compelled to do the wrong thing most of the time.
How do you know salvation is what caused you not to do what you're doing now?
Well, in other words, salvation, what comes upon you is truly the grace of God to take away.
How do you know that, though?
Huh?
How do you know that?
what other alternative is there? There is no other alternative. I mean, there is no other way. There is no other way. You know, in other words, I do not know of anything else that would remove from me to do the wrong things and really don't want to do them. Sometimes don't even see what I'm doing.
What is salvation?
The opposite of what I just say.
Oh, okay. And you know that, what reason? I'm sorry.
Say it again?
How do you know that's what it is?
I mean, I've seen it in myself time and time again that...
so you've had salvation and let it go?
No, I never had salvation.
But what do you mean you see it time and time again what it is?
I'm sorry, you have to speak up a little bit.
Oh, how do you know what it is then?
Well, I mean, you know what? Having lived a life, or living a life that I'm living, okay? I mean, I can see that through God's grace, as I already said before, that you will be able to live free of doing the wrong thing, being compelled to do the wrong thing, sometimes not seeing what you're doing. That all will be gone.
How do you know that's true?
I mean, what else could there be? There is no alternative.
All right, again, it's not a test. Let me go right here. You heard
there's one thing I would like to say.
Yes.
There are only two alternatives in life.
Where is salvation?
Say it again?
Where is salvation?
What is salvation?
Where is it?
Where it is?
Yes.
Where is salvation? You know, and I mean that's kind of a real funny question, I have to say. Where is salvation? Well, in other words, you know, but it has to be happening within you, within a person, of course.
Where is salvation?
Where?
No, where is it?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
You can't hear. Where is salvation?
But I just told you.
Oh, what did you tell me?
Yeah, salvation can only take place within a person.
How do you know that?
Yeah. I've never seen it on you know, that it happens on an 8,000 foot mountain.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, it's kind of, that's the only alternative. The other thing that I wanted to say is too.
Real fast.
Real fast. Okay. There is only right and wrong. There is no alternative. There's nothing in between right and wrong.
How do you know that?
It's either wrong or right.
How do you know?
You keep asking me, but how else would I say it? If I know it, I know it, and I know it because I know it. That's why.
Do you know right from wrong?
Yes. Yes.
If you don't have salvation, how do you know right from wrong?
Well, I can see that when I see something that I've done wrong, okay, then I have to know that there's an opposite to that. Otherwise, I wouldn't even recognize that it's wrong.
Okay. And you could do all that without salvation?
Well, yeah, obviously so, yes.
It's not a test. I want you ladies and the guys to think about that out there too. It's not a test. You heard the word salvation before, right?
Yes.
You have. And do you have it?
Well, I've been tricked into thinking that I was. And so I'm a little bit apprehensive about deciding whether I'm been saved or not. Because, you know, the devil is he can trick you and fool you. So I just, want to make sure.
Right on. I appreciate your response. The one thing I've noticed, and I noticed this because I'm getting to know myself even more and more, right? And the one thing that I realized this week, and I may already have said this before, but I'll just remind it this week maybe, is that we have been so taught about religion, about God, about salvation, about all this stuff, and everything that we've been taught is wrong. Now, it's not necessarily wrong what's been said about it, but it's wrong the way we've been taught about it. And I noticed, you want some water, Raymond? You need a pillow? You're going to break your neck. Your neck literally going to pop like that. You want to do some push-ups or something? You want to do some push-up to get you going? All right. And so we've been so taught about salvation, what it is, if we have it or not, blah, 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 right? And about where it is and all that kind of stuff, right? And so because we've been taught, we're trying to gain salvation that way by what we've been taught. We're trying to balance life with both what we've been taught and not been taught, and all that kind of stuff. And it's making it hard, it's making it impossible to accept salvation, to accept something that's right at hand. Salvation is the easiest thing to accept because, as it said in the Bible, it's at hand, it's right here, it's here and now, you know. And when you can realize that it's here and now, but you gotta let all these things go that you've been taught. And then you have it. It's here, it's now. It's in the present, it's in our presence, and it's right in now. And once you enter into that, come into his presence, then you're gonna see, wow, I've been measuring things on everything I've been taught. I've been so wrong, I've been dumbed down. You know, it's like, there's like an overwhelming peace or joy that comes when you realize that salvation is right here, right now. It doesn't take forever. I hear people say, oh, it's in a process. Or, oh, I've been praying for 50 years and it's coming. Or they make up excuses, and those excuses are coming from the tempter. Satan is telling you that. Everything you learn about good and everything you learn about bad, he's using it against you to keep you from accepting salvation right here, right now. Right in this very moment. Your consciousness is overcrowded with so much teaching, so much knowing the truth and knowing the lie, and now you're balancing it. Like you made the point, well, I know right from wrong, but you're balancing right and wrong based on what you've been taught right and wrong is. You're not, and right and wrong that is revealed to us is not anything that we can imagine right and wrong being. It really isn't. Like with the lady yesterday winding up her window and acting out, my mind would normally make me believe that that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then once I believed that that was wrong, now I have resentment of this woman, now I'm hating all white people again, and I'm ready to go after the next white person that does that. But instead, salvation or God caused me to have compassion for the lady and not think about me. But I was tempted. I mean, it was just strong, but you got to get to know yourself. So salvation is right here, right now, right here, right now. And once you enter into it, you're going to let go of all those other things you thought you knew. And that's what salvation does. It breaks down everything you've been taught about good and about bad and about making decisions, about not making decisions. And it's so right here. It's so right here. And you're right in what you were saying. I just hope, and only you can know that. I hope you know you have it and just grow in it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Over there, not you. I'm sorry, I don't mean it. Over there. Oh yeah. My hand must be crooked. Yeah. But unless you know yourself, you're not going to know you're balancing things based on what you have been taught, and that's why it's not working. You really won't know. And then you're going to take forever to enter into a place that's right here, right now, because you're still listening to the tempter. That makes sense a little bit? Yeah. Not really, huh? Let me take here first. Yes. John, I saw your hand too, right? John, you had your hand? Me? Uh-huh. Yes. Okay, I'll come back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really get what you just said, but...
you don't what?
I don't really get it.
Yeah. It's best to know that you don't get it rather than to just learn it and repeat it back as though you got it.
I kind of just want to deal with what makes sense to me at hand right here,
Yes.
and that's, to me, when I say I don't have salvation, I don't listen to the voice of God, God or the Holy Spirit or whatever enough, okay?
Right.
And typically I get into my head and I'm off with something else. So that's what I'm talking about. I would, like to have, hopefully God willing at some point, the ability to just listen to what's there instead of listening to this voice. That's all I really want. And to me, that would be salvation. If that's not the textbook answer, I don't really...
Well, give up all you think you know about salvation and enter into his presence.
No, I don't know anything about salvation. I'm just saying I'd like the ability to listen to the simple voice, but instead of, somehow I've been trained over time to listen to this other thing.
Yes.
And that's what I've got up until now. I would like to have that reversed.
Well, then turn away from it.
How so?
Never believe another thought that you ever have again. When you can doubt that voice, then you can believe into salvation. I'm telling you, just like that. Because once you doubt that voice, you're able to believe the truth again, because there's nothing else out there hanging in the balance but the truth.
Exactly. I understand that.
But the truth. But don't let the tempter give you any kind of indication what the truth is, because it's not true.
Well, I know what the truth is. I mean, I've heard it enough somehow to know it, but not to stay with it.
Then you don't know it.
Okay, well, I've experienced it at times, so I may not...
Right, you had a glimpse of it along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I clearly have.
So if you had a glimpse, why don't you let go of all whatever you're being told and learned? Just let it go in one ear and out the other one, and not trust that anymore.
Yeah, I understand that a little bit, and I understand that in the making decisions that you were talking about earlier, I could see going with things in my mind because of the thing in my mind is quicker, and I can start to see that of not really waiting. If I don't have the answer, not really waiting on it. But the mind always has answers. It's very
because
quick.
That's what the tempter is supposed to do. He's supposed to keep you distracted,
Yeah.
so you will believe him eventually. You got to doubt from this day forward. Doubt every thought that you have, and enter into the presence of God. See, look, God has already given us salvation. It's done. Jesus did it. It's finished. And all he wants you to do is just come into the house and take it. But if you're not paying attention to your life and to yourself, you're so out there with everything else, you're never going to get there, because Satan is constantly telling you stuff to prevent you from getting there. It's so easy. It's so simple. It's so simple that you're missing it. Like when John was saying what he said, look like I would now, and I did when I was like that. If I said, no, I don't have salvation, I don't know the truth, then I wouldn't be saying I know what salvation is. You know what I'm saying? But it's because of what he's been taught, and we all have that. Everybody has that, because, well, not everybody, but most people have been taught what salvation is, where it is, how you get it, blah, blah, blah. So there is an image there that Satan used against us, because the teachers of salvation had no clue as to what they were talking about. And you've learned that, and that's why you can't get there. Because when you try to be still long enough to come into his presence, Satan is telling you all this crap. It's setting you up. That makes sense?
It does.
So doubt him from this day forward.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
You said...
how much time I have? 45 seconds. Oh, I can't take you. Hold it for later. All right. Listen, folks. Salvation is at hand. In Mark 4:17, it talks about it. Just for those that need some scriptures. Luke 17:2 talks about it. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And if it's at hand, how come you're not, the question should be, if it's at hand, how come I'm not just getting it then, if it's just right there? You know what I'm saying? Why am I not receiving it? you've been deceived up here with all that you've been taught. Repent, turn away from that stuff. Doubt the devil, and you can be free. All right? Thank you for tuning in, folks, and thank you for coming as well.
For more information, to purchase a copy of this program, or to make a donation, visit us on the web at bondinfo.org or call 1-800-411-2663. That's 1-800-411-BOND.
You're already home.